presentation is Unlocking Hitting Potential, Key Principles for Effective Hitting. So we have David Quattrociocchi here. He is our former youth team head coach from 2018 to 2022, as well as multiple years participating with the team prior to that. He also has a wonderful helper here with him, a demonstrator. His name is Darius. So everyone give it up for Darius. And we will get started. David, the floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. Check, check. Everybody can hear me? Beautiful. It's a packed house. Welcome to the 2025 Best Ever Clinic. I hope that you're enjoying yourselves. I hope you don't have information overload, okay? Because it can be overwhelming. But just remember, you don't have to take all this information back to your teams and do it all this year. You take certain parts of it, yeah? Whatever your team needs. Find what works with your team and use that to your advantage. Stuff. Okay. Now, I think we can use our buddy Darius. Come on up here, little man. All right, so Darius, what would you do as far as your team warm up? Like when you get to the facility or a field, what do you guys do? What kind of exercises?
Karaoke sometimes.
You sing karaoke? He said karaoke. Oh. Karaoke. Yeah, so you do like karaoke, high knees, butt kicks, shuffles, things like that. So we all have to imagine he's already done this stuff, right? We've done the fitness testing on him. We know he's weak in the stomach. We know he has no flexibility in his hips. Yeah, we know you can't juggle. We tried that before. You couldn't juggle. Okay, so after we've done our active or our plyometrics, we're going to get him to do some of these specific little drills to help him on his strength and mobility. Cool? So the first one is planks. Simple enough. You're not going to learn anything here, but it's planks. Get in a plank position. Now there's many ways to do this. He can go from that position up to a push-up position and then back down. Yeah, there's 100 million different ways to do planks. Ultimately, what's he trying to strengthen? That core, so he has better posture and balance with his swing. Yeah, all right. Stay on all fours, actually. So the next one is for the ones who have issues with that flexibility in their hips. They have that disassociation where they can't separate the upper and lower body. So you can go on all fours. Now you're just going to lift your knee 10 times. Yep. No, all fours. Get on all fours. Like knees down. Yep, now do it. There you go. So this is just isolating the upper body so it's not moving, and he's trying to rotate his knee as high as he can, getting some flexibility in his legs. Simple enough. There's a million drills you're going to learn online for this stuff. Okay, the next one is just an extension. So same drill, but you're going to go straight back and around. Straight back and around. Yep. Trying to get full range of motion within those hips. Cool. Okay, I think you're almost ready to go. We got to juggle. He can't juggle. We already established this. Let's see, show off. Let's go. Oh, see, I told you couldn't juggle. 2 in 1 hand, funny guy. Nice try. So it's hard, yeah? It's going to be hard for their age group. Any type of juggling. There's this one that we do defensively as well all the time. We do this when we do our infield stuff. Okay, so any type of juggling is going to help him become more coordinated, understand his proprioception, his vision, his depth perception, what type of speed, where's the location going. I can mess with him a bit, yeah. Okay, there's many different ways to do that stuff. Cool, so now he's fully warm. He did his active. He did some specialized stuff that he needed to work on because he was weak in those areas. Now he's almost ready to hit. You're almost ready to hit. Grab your bat. He's almost ready to hit. So if this was a training session, he comes in, does the plyometrics, he does those drills. Now we're going to do some hitting prep. It looks like hitting, but it's not hitting. So it looks like hitting, but it's not hitting. Come set up in the batter's box, dude. So we'll get into more detail with this in a bit. But the first drill he's going to do is called a gather drill. So he's just going to gather that energy. You remember when I said during your stance, you don't have to have the knee over top of the foot. You can start like this if you wanted, but you're going to have some sort of gather. Remember Vladdy gathers before he starts his forward momentum? Well, this is the gather. Okay, we're trying to get that knee and that hip in line with the foot. The biggest deficiencies you're going to see here is you're going to see their knee. Now, this angle is probably the best one for this, but you'll see the knee get over top the toes. That's no good, because now he's actually loaded his quad. We're trying to load the hips. Cool? When we did this drill, the hips were loaded. If I bend, I'm loading quads. Quads are not going to help me to hit. They're not going to make me turn fast. Keep going, buddy. So one of the deficiencies we always try to remind kids is keep that knee in line with your foot. Now I'm actually going to get everybody else to do it too, so stand up, please. Yeah. You can keep going. You're the star. All right, you can put your hands across your chest, obviously, and I know you don't have much room, but I want you to start like 50-50 with your legs and then shift some weight to your back leg. It is so simple. We're not talking about a drastic motion, drastic movement. But as a coach, when you're teaching this stuff, you should be able to feel it. You should know what the players are supposed to feel. Okay, now get your knees over your toes. Does that feel uncomfortable? Is that balanced or steady? You can feel the energy more in the kneecap and the quad. No good. Okay, you can have a seat. So this is super important with our guys. We got to make sure that we can feel it as a coach as well as the players. So he's going to do 2 sets of 10 of those. Beautiful. Now we're going to go on to a gather and a load. We're going to talk about load in a little bit, but gather and a load. What is he loading? Upper body or lower body? Sorry? Upper body, absolutely. And what is he doing with his upper body? He's coiling. He's turning or loading this upper body. He's loading the upper body. He's gathering and he's loading. Gathering and loading. Okay, like I said, we'll talk about this a little bit more in a bit. Next drill, he's going to gather, he's going to load, and he's going to swing. Oh, no step. Gather, load, swing. So see how he's not taking a stride right now? At the 8U to 13U age groups, most of them won't be able to understand the stride, or they're not able to control their stride. So try to get them to do this drill without the stride. It's gather, it's load, it's swing. If this was a real count with a real pitcher in a real game, is this a 2-strike approach or an 0-0 approach? 2-strike approach, right? He's minimized all the movement. He's not taking a big step, a big stride. He's not doing the Jose Batista, Josh Donaldson leg kick. No way. He's starting with a 2-strike approach. Okay, perfect. Well done. Now we're going to incorporate the stride. So gather, load, stride, swing. Yep, got to make it a little faster than that, more smooth than that. Yep, but don't rush. Gather, load, stride, swing. There you go. Remember, this is like, it looks like hitting, but it's not hitting yet. We haven't even hit a ball yet. So gather, load, stride, swing. And now he's got a small stride, right? He's not doing a big stride at all. I always tell players, try to do what you naturally do. That's when you'll know if they know how to understand their stride. You may have kids that have huge strides, and you go teach them this drill, and they're doing this. They're doing the small stride because they don't get it. You have to say, no, stride like you would normally stride. That's the only way that that's going to help you. If you normally do the big leg kick, and then all of a sudden you're practicing this, it's not helping you. Okay? Always do it properly. Cool. All right, you ready to hit? Guess what? He's still not ready to hit. Not going to hit yet. Almost there. Now, we talked about it earlier. You mentioned it. Fear. So we're going to work on getting hit by a pitch. We haven't swung the bat or hit a ball yet. We haven't even swung the bat yet. But we're going to get hit by a pitch. Super important at this age group, no? 8U to 13U, you got to get hit by a pitch because most of them are scared anyways. Yeah, so at least they have to understand how to do it, how to take a pitch, how to do it properly. And yeah, I'm hitting you with real balls, eh? So what do we have to do for getting hit by a pitch? You turn your, what? Yep, you turn your back, so you get your numbers over to the pitcher, turn your back, and then what do you do with your bat? Tuck it behind your leg. Why?
Because if it hits it, then it'll either go fair or foul, and then it'll count.
But can it hit it if it's behind your leg? No. So if you're taking pitches and you got guys that do this, if the ball hits the bat, it could end up a fair or foul ball. So we ask the players to hide the bat behind our leg. So even if it bounces in the dirt, it still is protected behind my leg. If it does hit your bat, you're shit out of luck. Cool? So you ready to get hit by a pitch? What am I using here? Real balls or wiffle balls? Yeah, it's the best part of training, man. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 2 more. Beautiful. Yeah. 1 more. Got him. Yeah, good stuff. Did it hurt? No, not at all, right? Pretty good. Pretty easy. Every round that our hitters take, so if this was like round 1, now we're ready to hit, it's always going to start with a hit by pitch. Always going to start with a hit by pitch. Just so you start it now in January, by April, May, the season starts, he's been hit by a pitch couple hundred times. That fear should be out of him. Maybe not necessarily because I'm just lobbing it like this, but we have to try to get them out of that habit of being scared. The next thing we're going to work on, he's still not swinging, a bunt. Bunt. How many coaches bunt at 8U to 13U? Right? I suggest not using like regular season games, like, you know what I mean? You're not trying to go 25-0 by all means, but in a tournament, you may have to use it. Yeah? Okay? So you have to use a bunt. Bunting can be a huge advantage strategically, but it's also very underused. People don't know when to use it, how to use it. And a lot of coaches say, oh, my guys just can't bunt. Well, we're going to learn how to get hit by a pitch and then a bunt. So what are the mechanics for a bunt? We want you to, hold on, move up in the batter's box a little bit. Yep, just a bit. So now your body is more, when you bunt the ball, it's more into fair territory. You're going to hold your bat straight out. No, like, obviously, show me your bunt. Yep, perfect. Now his bat is at the top of the strike zone. I like to say on the letters or on your shoulders, have it in line, like have it high and at the top of the strike zone. Super important. And the reason why we moved up in the box, you guys can see it easily. This barrel is now in front of home plate. If he's back in the box, this barrel is now on top of home plate, more susceptible to a foul ball. So up in the box, bat shoulder height or chest height, and it's flat. You see how his bat's flat? When I grew up, they taught it differently. When I grew up, they taught this. Okay? But when the ball did come, you were supposed to end up level. Coaches didn't want you to bunt this way, and they didn't want you to do that and bunt that way. Why don't you want to bunt this way? Where's the ball go? Foul. It goes like up in the air or, slices foul. This way, same sort of deal, but you're also susceptible of getting A.J. Burnett in the face. He did that in spring training. He went to bunt like this, ball off his face. Okay, so make sure that bat is flat. The other key point is you want the arms sort of extended. So more extended like that, just so when the ball hits the bat, there's not as much cushion. He's not like holding it firmly. You want to hold the bat lightly. Okay? Ready to do some bunts? So this is obviously a sacrifice bunt. Nice. That's all right. Nice. Nice. Now go back to normal stance. I'm the pitcher. I come set. You show bunt. And go. Right? So it's very much more game-like now. I come set, sacrifice, bunt. What's the difference between a sacrifice and bunting for a base hit? What's the difference? Sorry? Purpose, yeah. You're bunting for a base hit rather than sacrificing, which is like moving a runner over. Yeah. Now, would you show bunt at the same time if you're trying to bunt for a base hit? When I come, no, you're going to do it a little bit later. So when you see my hand, then you show bunt. Yep. There we go. And then after you bunted, give me a couple little steps like you ran to first base. Nice. Good stuff. Cool? So make sure we're working on our bunts. You only have to hit him by a pitch twice. You only have to do a couple of bunts. But again, 2 this round, 2 next round, 2 next round, 2 the round after that. By the end of the day, he's already done 20 bunts, done 20 hit by pitches. Cool? Huge. Now you ready to swing a bat? Yes. Now he's ready to swing a bat. Okay. So getting into the actual mechanics of the swing now. Now I know we did those constraint drills where we're like gather and loading. Now we're going to get involved with them. Cool? You remember the self-toss face the pitcher? Okay, so the gather, we know we're trying to gather and get that energy or the hip and knee in line or on top of that foot. Go ahead, whenever you're ready. You just keep going. Okay, so what he's doing here is a face the pitcher drill or the 90-degree drill, because obviously the pitcher is that way. This would be my normal stance, but he's got his feet sideways. Yeah? So he's just trying to gather that energy, load, and swing. Gather, load, swing. Gather, load, swing. He's doing it a little bit more of a complex way where he's self-tossing it. You can use a tee. You can use the coach soft tossing it. You can do this front toss. Any which way, no problem. Make sure they gather first. Gather first. Most kids just want to load. No, gather, then load. Good man. One more, dude. Okay, so in order to maximize our energy in our legs, we have to gather before we swing. Get the knee and hip in a straight line over that foot. Now when we do our stride, we have to maintain this knee and hip being in a straight line. Yeah, so when I land my foot, my knee and hip are still in a straight line. Why is that important? Why is it important for me to gather and have knee and hip in a straight line and stride and keep the hip and knee in a straight line? Why shouldn't I stride like this? You're off balance, you're lunging, yeah, and I'm disconnecting my hip and my leg. Cool? So the drill we like to use for this one is the Happy Gilmore. Everybody knows Happy Gilmore, but we are going to concentrate and focus on getting the knee and hip to move forward. Go ahead, whenever you're ready. Yep. The Happy Gilmore will help you with your stride. You coaches have lots of guys who lunge. They lunge out to the ball, yeah. Make them control their stride with their back knee. Super, super important. Nice. Those are nice to hit, eh? Yeah. One more. Okay, there's many different variations of the Happy Gilmore. We can do what's called the Babe Ruth. If you all know Babe Ruth, he stood with his feet like together. Yeah, and you're going to do one big stride. No, one big stride, no shuffle, no Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore was an actor in a movie. Babe Ruth was a real guy. Yep. Cool, so again, working on his stride. Yep. If you have that player, I'm not going to use that one. If you have a player who steps in the bucket, steps out into foul territory, set up with your front foot and behind. No, other way. Switch feet. Yep. So with that front foot behind the back foot, he's forced to now stride in a straight line. Cool? Nice. If you have that player who strides towards home plate, and he closes off his stance, you switch your feet around. Yep. So now when he strides, the front foot is behind the back foot. Now he can stride more parallel. Those are for the ones that stride towards home plate. Good man. Good man. So modifying the drill, it's still a linear drill, modifying it to our player and his needs. Yeah? Okay. The load. When we talk about a load, we're talking about that upper body. You guys remember the drill he did? He gathered and then he loaded, he turned his shoulders. That's loading, coiling, as it was said. Think about a car that's broken down. Here along comes a tow truck. They hook up a chain to that broken down car, but the car cannot advance until the tow truck starts driving away and that rope or chain starts to get tight, and then both cars can advance together. Well, that's what we're doing with our upper body. We are trying to load up and tighten up our upper body so that when it's time to swing, I'm swinging. There's no extra movement. If my hands are here and I'm ready to swing, what do I have to do before I swing? I have to load, but by that time, the ball's by me already. Cool? So the load part of it, we're trying to get the upper body in a position, 100% of a loaded position, so that when it's time to swing, they can just swing. There's no extra movement. That extra movement, the ball is by you. Okay? So the drill we do for this one, it's just a very stagnant drill. He's going to be in a regular stance. Show me a gather, nothing else, just gather. Just a gather. Yep, now load. Now no step, you're gonna hit this ball. So I forced him to get in a gather and a load. Now swing, beautiful. Don't forget to rotate after you've hit the ball. Yep, Good. Do the steps over, gather, then load, and go. Back to that two-strike approach. We're focusing on the upper body, focusing on that load, making sure he's in a loaded position. One more. Gather. What happened? What happened? Did anybody notice? Was he loaded? So he couldn't swing because he wasn't loaded, right? I rushed him. I threw it when I wasn't supposed to. And he didn't have time to actually fire because he wasn't ready yet. Cool? So as a hitter, they always got to be in their 100% loaded position before the ball is released. Okay, so gather, load, and go. Cool. Now you're going to do it without me saying anything. I'm not going to tell you when to gather, when to load. You have to make sure you're loaded before I release. Yep. Good. Good. So we see him reach back. He is loading that upper body. Cool. Any questions with the load so far? Yep.